I am now going to take you into the perception class that I'm teaching for business clients. It is a generally applicable class to everyone who sits in the human body on this planet and wants to understand how our perception actually works. So the first question in the class is, how much would you like to eat a plate of spaghetti tonight? And then I ask the people and they tell me, oh, I would really like some spaghetti, or, oh, no, I had some last night, I really don't. So I get all kinds of answers. And that's fine because different people have different likings, and that's not what the exercise is about. And then the second question that I ask people is, and what did the spaghetti plate look like in your head when you heard the question? And I'm going to give you some of the answers that I got, and you can give your own answer. So the one person says, oh, I saw a big plate full of meatballs. The other person says, I saw a lot of red sauce. The other person says, oh, I saw some pesto. And then the next person goes, oh my God, I have to fry 50 steaks tonight. I only saw steak. And as you go through the class and you ask more and more people, you realize that everyone saw a different picture in their head when I asked the question, how much would you like to eat a plate of spaghetti tonight? And everyone really answered to that picture in the head rather than to the question that I was asking, because this is how we function as human beings. When I say something, you see something in the head and you comment to what you're seeing. Sometimes that's the same thing than what I'm asking, but very often it's not. And in this training, for the first time, people realize, oh, really, there are different pictures happening in the heads of the people. So now I'm going to take you through the conclusions of the spaghetti exercise, and you cannot imagine what a huge impact this has if you really understand what this is all about. So when we hear a word, our mind automatically gives us an image to look at in the head. Like when I said spaghetti plate, you saw a spaghetti plate. When I say beer, you see beer. When I say ocean, you see an ocean, and you keep seeing the ocean until I say grass, and then you see the grass. So your mind follows a word that it hears, and it inwardly shows you a picture. This image is based on your past experience. It is our program. When we come on this planet, we don't come with all images already loaded in our heads, but we learn through our experience where we grow up and what our parents and society shows us, what things are, what they're called, so that next time you hear the word jeans, in your mind you see what jeans look like. So we're getting programmed all our lives to have some images in the head for things that we see around us. Our mind at the same time does not ask us what we want to see. So when I say, hey, how much would you like to eat a plate of spaghetti tonight? Your mind's not saying, would you like to see it with pesto or rather with meatballs? But your mind just gives you the most likely pictures it thinks that's true. Now, for the time being, that is your brain giving you major service. It shows you an image. It doesn't necessarily have to be an image that helps you in the dialogues you're in. But definitely it shows you an image, and for a lot of people that happens automatically, and they actually believe that what they see is true. So for most people, this process is so unknown and so subconscious that they don't realize that they see pictures in the head, but they see them anyways. They talk to the pictures that they see, and they think it's all true what they see, and they make conclusions of the images in the head, although it is only a replay of something that someone at one point showed you. And what you find is when you talk to other people around the images in their head, that when you talk about the same thing, the images in the heads vary largely between people. So when I say Italy, different people have very different pictures in the head what that means. When I say key performance indicators, a business term, a lot of people have very different images. Some find it's really smart, others think it's really stupid, others go, what is that? I don't know what that means. So depending on what their norming is, they hear something I say very differently between their heads and my head. And for most people, this process is completely unknown, but 100% executed in their head. What people realize sometimes for the first time during this exercise is that they see a picture in their head, and that different people see different pictures in their head at the very same moment, talking about the very same topic. So I would like for you to go in your head and look at what was the image in the head that you saw when I asked about a spaghetti plate. What did it look like for you? And then you can go look and say, hey, how did your image compare to the examples that I just gave you? Was it the same or did it look different? And then the last question I have for you that you can ponder on is, did you actually think about asking me, hey, what does that plate look like? Or was it an inner seeing that you didn't even notice that you're seeing something and you just believed the picture that you saw? And most of the time, really, for people, they don't notice that they see images, but they blindly read what they see in their head, take it for true, and communicate to that image. I am now going to ask you to try a transfer of this knowledge into your actual world that you're living in and see where you can find that concept actually happening around you. You can pick an example from your job or from a school or university environment, or you can pick an example from your private life. It doesn't really matter. But I want you to think about a situation where it might really make a whole lot of sense to check for if my images and the images of the people I'm talking to are the same images. I would just like to take you a pause and then look at, hey, where would it really make sense if I checked for images in the head between people, now knowing that they maybe see something else where you have some clarity or they don't. So come up with some examples for you.